2, 1, go.
Okay, so the first dish we're going to do is a belly pork. The belly pork's nice and local, about 6 miles away. It's got a very high fat content, which is very nice. It's served with scallops. The scallops are going to be brushed with Marmite butter. The Marmite element is introducing umami, which is the fifth taste, which is something that we've introduced since my visit to Kyoto in December last year. And what that does, it gives you a great depth of flavour, a real mouth fullness without using too much salt. We've got some chorizo, which is nice and local, and the actual finishing it with some pickled, almost marinated butternut squash, which has got the cannelloni of the actual chorizo sausage jam. To finish that dish and also enhance it is some quince. The quince itself has been almost cooked like a tartare without the pastry. So it's been cooked in caramel. It's got a lovely pectin level in there, so it's quite tart, and that will break down the pork fat and give it a lovely kind of appleness to the whole dish. So what I'm doing here is I'm just rendering the fat. As you can see, there's a nice fat content. Probably 20% of it is actually meat. What I'm after is the fat. The fat itself will seal, create a nice crust, and then what we'll do is encapsulate all the liquid fat. So as that happens, this has already been cooked, by the way, and then it's been pressed. So the belly pork has been salted and then cooked for about 45 hours and then pressed overnight. So it's almost like a 4-day process. This is when it's finished. Now the time is to crisp it up and get that lovely molten fat element to it. As you can see, all the fat's bubbling, the actual meat is getting crispy, and that's the bit that gives you the textural difference. The actual fat itself is going to be a bit like the crackling you get, but the centre is going to be lovely and liquidy. So the idea is a liquefied centre. So the exterior will be crisp, you bite into it, there's a massive burst of pig fat in your mouth. It's a little taste, a little bit like man fat, but less salty. Again, the scallop is nice and large. It's a beautiful scallop, so the idea is you want to serve it a little bit like medium rare. The crisp exterior, a nice soft centre, nice and warm. The beautiful part of this dish for me is it allows you to create this real lean protein fish, like the shellfish, like the scallop, contrasting with something quite fatty, so you get the balance of the two. As you can see, it's getting more and more caramelized. Now, if you look at the difference, there's hardly any fat on there, but it's got this lovely crispy exterior. The scallop itself, it's got a lovely coating there. What we're going to do, I'm just going to pop that on here and under the grill. Okay, here's some chorizo jam. This is very simple. It's diced chorizo. We have some apple juice and cook it down with a pinch of sugar, and it's got a lovely spicy sweet element to it. What we're going to do to this, Granny Smith apple. Again, thinking about acidity. A lot of the dishes we're trying to choose for the menu has got contrast in flavour, texture, temperature and acidity. And what it does, it brings a nice roundness to the dish. So as you can see, it's got a lovely now freshness to it, which is the apple. I've got here now some marinated butternut squash. That's been marinated in maple syrup. And all we do is we actually roll this almost like a raw cannelloni. Yeah. Okay, scallops perfectly cooked, seasoning, Marmite butter. And again, the secret is I'm not putting salt on. It's going to be this Marmite, which is 20% Marmite and 80% butter, pinch of lemon juice. And what you end up with is this beautiful glaze. And what's nice is that that's the seasoning. Again, massive umami hit, lots of glutamate, and that creates that lovely mouthfeel. Here we have some of the belly pork that we've actually rendered. So as you can see, it's a lot smaller in size, and it's got this amazing fat. See all that juice coming out? It's amazing. You can use it as lube. It's fantastic. And then what we're trying to do here is get some nice elements of crispy and fat, so it adds texture to the dish. I've also got here some chorizo. Again, this is local, and again it's spicy, so it corresponds with the chorizo jam. So I'm now going to plate the dish, so it's very straightforward. This is the quince. It's got lovely layers of quince and caramel. The chorizo sausage is there. Just sit the chorizo on top. And again, we're going to use the pork as seasoning, as fat. So you've got these lovely cubes of fat, crispy, fatty. And I've got a little dressing here made with butternut, pumpkin oil, lemon juice, and finish it with fresh coriander and cumin.